own property, run business. I mean, it was terrible. Every group has gone through some period or form of suffering. And let me ask you a question. Do you think that the material bad status of Black America right now has anything to do with decisions that Black Americans have made?
I think that while it may have, that might be part of the reason, I think that there has been a push for Black Americans to make that choice.
I don't understand.
I would say, like, take the war on drugs, for example. I would think that that is a way that Black and white people were using, drugs at similar grades, but Black people were punished for it more severely and given longer sentences.
None of that is correct, but that's fine.
Well,
so
it is.
It's based on income, not based on race. But again,
those are pretty much the same thing.
Again, I always find the war on drugs arguments so laughable. You don't want to go to jail for doing cocaine, don't do cocaine. Like, I don't understand the argument. Like, it's not that much. It's not complex stuff, right? It's as if, like, wait, so the argument is that a bunch of Black people were doing cocaine and they caught us and we're the problem.
Well, they were given longer sentences than white people.
Again,
even though
hotly and highly debated, but it still is.
It's not.
Well, again,
I've heard it from a lot of sources.
If you distill it down based on the quality of attorney they had, based on their income level, it just so happens a lot of Black Americans had a lower income level.
Well, why is that though? And I think there's a reason that's the case.
And just so we're clear,
that's a systemic reason.
The war on drugs was insanely popular with Black leaders back in the 1980s because Black communities were actually being ravaged by drugs. There's a reason why we launched it.
Well, why are they were put in there in the first place?
So the government put a bunch of cocaine in the inner city?
Into the inner cities, that's true. I don't believe that is true. Well, you don't have to. You can move on from that.
It's okay, but let's try to find some common ground. I don't want this to be overly combative.
Okay, I would agree.
Would you prefer a country that prioritizes race or one that prioritizes merit?
I think we should have a country that prioritizes merit, and I think we need to look at why some races are seen as less meritorious than others.
Okay, so again, just to go back to it, I can give you another example. Cubans came here with nothing. Any Cubans in the audience? Nothing, right? Nothing, right? Am I right? Nothing. Because of Castro. Like, the poorest people ever to come to America would be Cubans. They're incredibly wealthy per capita. How does it keep on happening with every other group? But Black America is, like, seemingly always held back.
I think you also have to look at, there are Cubans who move here with wealth. It's the ones who are rich enough to move. At least a lot of them. And I think that even the ones who do come here, with nothing, which a lot do.
But you have to, so in order for your hypothesis to be true, it needs to bear out with one other group. So there have been, what?
What do you think my hypothesis is?
Your hypothesis is one of intergenerational struggle, that what has happened 60 years ago has direct impact on material well-being what happens today. We reject that premise.
So you have that history affects the present?
Not nearly as much as you think it does, actually. We believe that you are most importantly a consequence of your agency and your actions. Most importantly. And yes, there are historical implications that impact you. Of course they do. But to just say something that happened not in your lifetime, and not even in all of your dad's lifetime.
Well, it happened in my grandmother. And how my dad grew up, and it affected how, what he had to do to get where he is, and for me to do what I did to get here.
Okay, but you gotta break that down.
Well, you want me to explain my whole family's history?
Not necessarily, no. But at some point you have to say, despite all the bad stuff happening to us, we still could have made good choices and we would have flourished.
Well, I think you can make good choices, and I think that you should also help people make good choices, because I don't see why we shouldn't.
No, we should help people make good choices. Do you know why? That's why we should get rid of DEI, which actually elevates and rewards people that have not necessarily worked as hard.
DEI just means diversity, equity.
No, it means didn't earn it. Yeah.